future leadership of your school district here. And obviously, Bill did a nice job. It's not fun to be the bearer of bad news, but perhaps we have some solutions here that will offer some good news going forward. The first question, and let me start with Mike Aurelio. I'll just pick names out of the hat, so I don't want to keep them on their toes. The first question is, does the district need the $20 million asked for in the referendum? If not, how much does it need, and do property taxes necessarily have to go up to finance that need?
I've looked at the numbers. I don't believe we need $20 million, no. We currently owe $5.5 million in TAWs to high school. This year we are running a $2 million surplus, so we will have to reissue about $3.7 million worth of TAWs going forward. The question is, how long do we want to have higher class sizes? If we want to delay this, then we can continue to do TAWs, and that's up to individual voters. If we wanted to lower class sizes quicker, what would be a more appropriate number? 6, maybe 8 million. I don't know who was at the referendum meeting when they determined the $20 million number, but they went from 6 to 8 to 20 million in 5 minutes. With no critical discussion about the numbers, no cost analysis. I was sitting in my seat steaming. So an important issue with so little numbers. So what is it? You can have an honest debate. Which is the right way to go? If we wanted to restore our class sizes quicker, 6 to 8 million would be a much more reasonable number. Can it be done through TAWs over the long haul? Yes, it can.
And I was remiss in not reading Mike's biography before offering him a question. Mike has been married to his wife Michelle for 11 years. They have 4 children, 3 of which are in the district schools. Mike has 16 years of business experience and is currently the vice president and owner of New Supplies, a successful local business that's been in existence for 35 years. Mike has a BA in economics, which is a good thing for political leadership, and was the treasurer of several community organizations. Mike has a strong financial and business background and also has been a volunteer and mentor to area youth for about a decade. And by the way, just in terms of our TAWs, that probably you got that in Bill's presentation, the tax anticipation warrants, so we don't get too deep into jargon, but we can also address that in Q&A from the audience. Let's go to Laura Regal for the next question, and let me introduce Laura. Laura and her husband Daryl have lived in Lemont for 13 years, and they have 3 children, 2 of whom are currently attending 113A schools. Laura volunteers 2 to 3 hours a week in the schools, assisting children with reading and tutoring in math. She also worked for Argonne National Laboratory for 7 years and was president of the Argonne Club for Employees. She is currently the president of her neighborhood association. And Laura's question is the threat of a state takeover real, state takeover of the school? And have you spoken to the Illinois State Board of Education about this threat? If you haven't, just essentially assess the threat and how serious you think that is.
I have talked with the State Board of Education about the potential. Sorry about that. This one I think might be better. The question was if I've talked to anybody about this. If I've talked to anybody in the state regarding the state takeover, and is there a potential threat with the state takeover? I have spent some time doing some research with this. I've spent 45 minutes on the phone with 2 state employees. One was Deb Vespa, who's in charge of the district's finance and the oversight right now of our financial plan. The financial plan that was put in place and approved by the Illinois State Board of Education in December of 2009, well, it was given to them in December 2009, approved in January of 2010 by the state, the first version of our financial plan, was approved by the state And the purpose of the financial plan is to put stability back into the district. What that means is the plan essentially that the district had to come up with, and the administration and our board had to approve, was to establish revenues back in the funds to stabilize the finances over a period of time. Now, that plan has been amended already a few times, and it was to stabilize it within 3 years and put the finances back. So the threat of a state takeover isn't really a threat. Here, it doesn't exist, because if the state was going to take over and step in, the time to take over and step in was that time, before they gave a financial plan and put it in place. If the district follows the financial plan that was established and put in place, that plan will restore our finances back and put stability back into this district and put us back to where we belong. So we really don't need funding at this time to be putting additional funds in there, because over the course of time, by following the plan that was given to us, that the board and the state approved, following that plan, we will stabilize our funds here, and we will be back on track. We just need to make sure that the people that we put in charge in our board are capable of following the plan and will listen to people and amend it, possibly, if they want to establish those funds and not make such drastic impact on the education of the kids and on the taxpayers right now. We have some other options out there that we can do. Mr. Aurelio's looked into some of those also. And there's CPI he's looked into, and the taxing, right, Mr. Aurelio?
Yes, I am.
Maybe he...
Well, yeah, let's...
Yeah, we'll get to that later. Maybe if somebody wants to have that information, we can do that in question and answer time then too, and get back to that. So the state takeover isn't something that they're coming in and doing at this time. The state doesn't want to take over. They don't want to get involved in this district. That's why they put the financial plan in place. And we can totally not have state takeover just by abiding by that financial plan.
Thank you, Laura. And also, too, if anybody can't